They get everywhere this time of year, don't they? Best methods to prevent fruit flies from getting into your wines. Simple remedies, but very, very important. The last thing you want is a fruit fly landing into your wine and turning it into vinegar. After all, you've gone to so much effort to make your wine, and you want to make wine, not vinegar. You could stand guard in front of them all day, every day, with a can of chemicals that would contaminate your bloody wine, and a newspaper to swat them won't do your mental health any good, it won't. You'll never catch all of them. Anyway, top tips for keeping fruit flies away from your wine. There's a fly in this airlock, a fruit fly it is. And the last thing you want is fruit flies getting into your airlocks. Now, on the skin of fruit flies and in the guts as well, there's a chemical called acetobacter. And this can turn your alcohol into vinegar. Last thing you want. And quite often, if they go into your airlock, that bit of water in your airlock can become contaminated with acetobacter. You take your airlock out and the suction pulls back and that liquid goes into your wine. It can spoil your wine just by removing your airlock if a fruit fly has gone in there. It is near on impossible to prevent fruit flies from coming into your homebrew workspace. They are everywhere, they're tiny, they will find a way, they are attracted to the fermentation and the sweetness of the wine. So they will come in and they will do their thing. You can't prevent them. But what you can do is try to prevent them from going into your airlocks and going into your wine. And there are a few, got one, different things you can do to prevent the fruit flies from contaminating your wine. First up is good hygiene when it comes to keeping anything sanitized and sterilized. That's one of the big things you can do. Second thing is keep your airlocks well and truly topped up. Now you can use a sanitizing solution in your airlocks, but I find that the effectiveness of that only lasts for 3 or 4 days. And do you really have time to refreshen the liquid in your airlocks every 3 to 4 days? It's fine if you only have one, but if you're talking about 30, 40 demijohns with airlocks in, no, it's not. I'd rather make another brew than constantly fill up airlocks. So what can help is to put a clove into your airlock. And as the airlock bubbles away, it gives off clove oil, and fruit flies really despise the aroma of clove. So it will fill the area around your demijohns with this pungent smell that fruit flies cannot abide by. So they will stay clear just by the natural process of your wine doing its thing. It's a big help. It's not foolproof, but it certainly does go a bit of the way to preventing fruit flies from going into your airlocks and your wine, and just generally from around your area. Reclaim your land from the fruit fly. The second thing you can do is to try to trap them and kill them in this evil trap. I feel like I'm in one of those Saw films when I think like this. How can I trap and kill those fruit flies in the most evil of ways? But it has to be done. You can make a fruit fly trap. And I will show you how to do it now, because it's really, really simple. The first thing you need is a vessel, like a glass bowl or a drinking glass. It doesn't have to be glass, you can use plastic if you like, but I try to stay away from plastic where I can. So grab yourself one glass, bowl, dish thing. Doesn't have to be very big, doesn't have to be very deep, because those tiny fruit flies are teeny, teeny, tiny, teeny, weeny, tiny fruit flies are only teeny, tiny, weeny, tiny. You want to warm up a tiny bit of water, enough just to dissolve a tablespoon of honey. So heat up enough water to basically fill the bottom bit of your chosen glass vessel or plastic vessel. And into that water you want to add your tablespoon of honey. Only cheap stuff, you're not making mead or anything, although I use cheap honey for mead, but just shove in your tablespoon of honey into that water, just so it dissolves into the liquid. Then once that is fully dissolved, pour in your honey syrup into the glass jar, just so it covers the bottom third of your glass jar. You don't want it too full, you just want enough aroma to tempt the flies in, and then they will, as we'll see, get stuck within that sweetened honey. Now there's one more item I like to add, which is a tiny dash of washing up liquid. A bit overkill, you don't need this much, just a tiny dribble. It's just what I have out here. And the washing up liquid just helps to break up the surface tension of your honey solution. So give it a quick swirl and job done, nearly anyway. Now the flies will find this aroma much stronger than your bubbling airlocks, so this will be the prime optimum landing place for the party. And as they land in here, the stickiness of the honey will trap them. They'll get coated and they won't be able to fly away. If they do manage to climb up to the side of the glass, there's such a steep wall to climb up, they won't make it because they've already been drained from swimming around trying to get out. But to make it even harder for them, what we can do is grab yourself some cling film or plastic wrap and just put over a sheet of your cling film over the top of your glass and hold it in place with a rubber band. Then make some really big holes with a pen, enough for the fruit flies to climb in, but then they will get really confused and won't be able to find their way out through those holes you've made. It's like a lobster pot or a creel. The lobster can find its way in, but then they can't find the way out. Ingenious. There we have it, one fly trap. So leave your fly trap in an area around your homebrew area, around your demijohns, around your fermenters, and you'll be amazed at how quickly all the flies find their way in and get stuck in that liquid, unable to find their way out. Don't give in to their screams, their pleas for help. Each fly is an enemy of homebrew. Also, keep your airlocks well topped up. That will prevent the flies from going into your demijohns and fermenters. The last thing you want is a fly to fly unchallenged into your demijohn or fermenter. And if you want to know what the best liquids are to put into your airlocks, check out this video up by here where I explain the best liquids to add and the reasons why I add my favourite liquid, which is not vodka. Anyway, you have a great day now and I'll see you all really soon. Got it.